Uju, a public affairs analyst based in Abuja. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us on our news at this time.
Good evening. It's my pleasure.
Okay, all right. So, could we have your reaction to the judgments delivered today by the Supreme Court on the issues of, let us first look at withholding Rivers State allocation until the 2025 appropriation bill is presented to the House of Assembly under the leadership of the Speaker, Honorable Martin Anuwule?
I think the Supreme Court did well and should be commended for bringing sanity back into the political climate of the state. This shenanigan has gone on for too long, and since October 2023, Rivers have not known peace. I've written a number of opinion articles in my column on this issue, and I've been of the opinion that we cannot continue to run governance the way the issue of, the issue going on, political issues going on in Rivers State have been going. Let's take, for instance, I wish the Supreme Court had decided long before the arson that took place in the Rivers State House of Assembly in October 2023. I wish Governor Fubara did not have to pull down the Rivers State House of Assembly. I wish that the 3 or 4 councils that were set ablaze by those who were aggrieved with Fubara's planned election of October 5, 2024. I wish they have started to listen to this Supreme Court decision. Because at the end of the day, a lot has happened, a lot of losses, economic losses have been incurred. And what the Supreme Court has said with the withholding of the allocation meant for the River State is in order, because that is the only way a quick resolution could be found. If there is still an avenue for Fubara camp to not obey this decision, they will find it, because politicians, I don't know what kind of gene they have. Meanwhile, governors have suffered. Look at the enormous cost that was used to fund the illegal elections that were held on October 5 last year. Millions of naira. At the end of the day, Supreme Court said those elections were not held in due process was not held in conducting that local government election, which means it's not to be repeated. The same thing with the 2025 budget that was passed by Uche Jomba and 3 others. How could 4 people out of 32, make legislation for a state like Rivers with millions of people? So I'm happy that sanity has been restored. I hope that the Fubara camp will respect the decision of the Apex Court and withdraw every other cases that are in court. I know some people will still be egging Fubara on to go ahead and pursue case over the status of the 27 members, whether they are defection from PDP to APC, whether it's illegal and all of that. Because even when you want to pursue that will also end at the Supreme Court. By the time you are doing all of that, your state allocation will have been withheld. You will not have money to run the state. You will not have money to run the local government. So how does Fubara want to function? So it's better he swallows his pride. Fubara should just swallow his pride and eat the humble pie and negotiate for a soft landing by recognizing the Amewule faction represents the 2025 budget. I don't think he will be in a position to represent the 2024 budget, because that budget has already been overtaken by events. So he may have to represent the 2025 budget so that the allocation, the ban on the allocation for the state will be released. Then modality will have to be set in motion for another local government elections to be held, which will still cost the Rivers State government a lot of resources. So at the end of the day, the Rivers State people have incurred huge economic losses. But thankfully, there has not been any loss of life, unlike what was witnessed in Osun State 2 weeks ago.
Okay, all right. And then with the Court of Appeal favoring the Amewule faction and also the Supreme Court declaring the October election as null and void, what implications do you foresee this having on the state?
As I've said just now, the implication is that another round of election will have to be organized by Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. There is no two way about it. And in the interim, that means the caretaker committee that was earlier recognized by the Amewule faction will have to go back, because effectively all the APP members who won the October 5 election their seats have been declared vacant. It means in the eye of the law, they were never chairmen and councillors in Rivers State, which means the status quo ante will remain. And that means pending the time that Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission will follow due process, follow the provision of Section 150 of the Electoral Act 2022, the caretaker committee will have to be in place. And already those who were sacked for the APP members who won the October 5 election to Oswe, they will the October winners will have to vacate for the caretaker committee. Pending the time a fresh election will be held into the 23 councils. But look at the enormous losses I've articulated. The 4 councils that were set ablaze by those who were aggrieved about the planned October 5, 2024 election. Look at how much will now be required to fix the destruction, the arson, or to rehabilitate those council chambers, as well as millions of naira that will be needed to rebuild the Rivers State House of Assembly that was pulled down by Sim Fubara after the initial arson on the assembly. But it's better to cut the loss now by ensuring that Sim Fubara obeys the court decision to the letter, so that bank could be lifted of the allocation of the state allocation from federation account, because now governance may grind to a halt if the Central Bank of Nigeria has no choice in this matter. It has to cease or withhold the allocation meant for the Rivers State government, as well as the one meant for the councils. So it's a double jeopardy for them unless they obey the Supreme Court decision in this matter.
Okay, all right. I'm so sorry, Sisi. Apologies to cut off the flow of your thoughts, but we've run out of time. Thank you so much for being with us on our news at this time.
It's my pleasure. Do enjoy your weekend.
All right, and that's Jide, a public affairs analyst who joined us live from Abuja.